So what do you think of the suspension? What you get the suspension on a scale from 1 to 10?
10.
It's a 10? What's up, y'all? So we received an all-terrain folding e-bike to review with triple suspension. So that would be the first, I believe, the first folding bike we got with triple suspension. I've had triple suspension on one e-bike before. And this is the second folding bike that we gotten from ENGWE. The first one we really liked it, right? The ENGWE Engine Pro.
I don't remember it.
Great bike. That was real smooth.
If you say so.
But I really like the ENGWE bike. It was really smooth, really sturdy. One of the few e-bikes that I could use without my hand on the handlebar. And so to help me unbox this bike, I got my bro and fellow e-bike connoisseur Tyle with me. And so the bike that we received is an ENGWE X20, or better yet, I should say 22.2, because this e-bike also has two batteries. It comes with a 48 volt 14.4 amp hour battery and a 48 volt 7.8 amp hour battery. So together that's 22.2 amp hours, and it's advertised to go up to 93 miles per charge, but it's saying on eco mode. So we're gonna make sure we test out the range on this bike. This bike is also advertised to go 31 miles per hour, but we're gonna test that out. This bike weighs 102 pounds. I'm assuming that's because of the two batteries. Maximum weight of the rider is 330 pounds. This bike has a 1,000 watt motor with a 1,200 watt peak. I think I've only had one other folding bike that had two batteries, but even on that one, you can only use one battery at a time. I think this is the first time where you can actually ride with two batteries on a folding bike. To purchase this e-bike, feel free to use my link and my discount code in the description below. Also, this e-bike is currently under a Christmas promotion, $600 off. So if you use the code while it's under Christmas promotion, you will get quite a bit off of your purchase. And we're gonna test it out. We're gonna test out the speed. Because I think this has all-terrain tires, we're gonna go on-road, off-road. And because it is a folding bike, we're gonna try to fold this up, put it in a mid-sized car to see what transporting this bike is like.
Give that weight room.
And she ain't even asked, but yeah, I'm going. So this is what the bike looks like fresh out the box. I would say it was wrapped pretty well. Like they have foam pretty much everywhere. Even got cardboard around the wheel. It had all this stuff here. Look at the suspension on that thing. I know I'm doing an e-bike giveaway when I get to 40,000 subscribers. I think this bike might be a great contestant to be given away, because a lot of y'all said y'all wanted a fat tire bike. A lot of y'all also said you wanted a portable bike. If you want this bike, comment below, let me know. You do have to be subscribed to the channel. And if not, continue to comment down below on what type of e-bike you would like. If you want this e-bike before I get to 40,000 subscribers, you would have to pay for the shipping cost.
What?
Do we have a deal? Let's shake on it. So this is what the bike looks like when it's unwrapped. It doesn't look like anything was damaged, but the bike does look a little dusty. I ain't gonna lie. But they probably had to test the bike out to make sure it works. We will have to put the handlebar on, which is already attached via wires here. We're gonna have to put our 20 by 4 inch Chow Yang wheels on, and Chow Yang tires are my favorite tires on e-bikes because they are very grippy and they are very durable, at least based on my experience with them. Looks like we're gonna have to put the kickstand on and our front fender. This bike also came with a box, so let's see what's in the box. We have our pedals, which are labeled, and these pedals do fold, and they are engraved at the end with the label. Nice array of tools. That's not a hexagon wrench that I would actually use though, it's a little short. Clamp to put our seat on. I think this is probably the first time where we actually have to install a seat. So curious on how many battery chargers we have, since we have two different batteries. All right, so just one charger. We don't have another one. So I guess this charger is to charge both of our batteries. We also have our owner's manual. The instructions seem pretty straightforward. Look like they added a lot of step-by-step pictures in here, which is good. It looks like they also go into your advanced settings. We've been getting more companies that do that now. So information about the limited warranty here. It looks like we're gonna have to put the headlight on, which is also attached. And lastly, we're gonna have to put this cushion on that goes on your rear rack. So the first thing we're gonna do is go ahead and put this front wheel on. Correction, first thing we're gonna do is get this kickstand on. before we put our front wheel on, we do have to remove that from the front brake. When you're putting this front fork on your front wheel, there is a thick washer that's gonna go in between the front fork and your wheel. So make sure that you watch out for that as you try to put your front fork on. So we put that handlebar on because we're going to need that handlebar in order to tighten up our alignment, because out the box the alignment is loose. So to tighten up our alignment, we are going to align it how we want it using the handlebar again. Then we're going to tighten this screw up here, and we're also going to tighten up these screws on the side. So we got this bike put together. Only took us about, I would say, 40 minutes. The hardest part to put together was the headlight, believe it or not. I think this bike is pretty standard size for a folding bike. It's about 5 feet 5 inches from wheel to wheel. The handlebar at its lowest point from the floor is about 3 feet 10 inches. The seat at its lowest point is about 2 feet 9 inches from the floor. And this seat only goes as high as this power cord will let you, and that's only after you connected this here. So this goes back here like that, and then you have to turn that, do that to make that secure. What I do like about the seat pole battery is it does have some anti-theft features. So you need this key here in order to adjust the height of this seat. And it does look like you're gonna have to use a hexagon wrench to put here because there's no way you can turn this with your hand. And then put that clamp on this other side. Again, when this is up. After you got the height you want, then you have to push this button down. Loving that they went with Chaoyang tires. Again, these are my favorite all-terrain tires on an e-bike, but we're going to test those out anyway. But all in all, I think this is a I'd say interesting looking folding bike. Do y'all think this is a good looking e-bike? Comment below, let me know. Look at that suspension. Look at that suspension. So yeah, we have one suspension here, we have two here. I think I've had this suspension on one other e-bike. On that e-bike, it definitely delivered, but we'll see. Give y'all an idea of both of these suspensions here in the back of the bike. This bike also has suspension in the front fork, but it looks like you can only lock out your suspension. Let's say you're on a flat surface, or you can open it up so you can't really like adjust it. Give y'all an idea of this front suspension. Check out our rear and front hydraulic disc brake. Looks like they gave us a very comfortable ergonomic type seat here. Look at our handlebar grips, which is like a leather material. Quite comfortable. Look at our trigger Shimano gear shifter, which is my favorite. Look like we have 8 gears. Get a look at our brakes on the handlebar, which you can use to replace your hydraulic disc brake fluid. You can charge both batteries. We have a battery in the body, and this seat pole is also a battery. You can charge both batteries while they're in the bike. If you want to charge this battery, then you can put your charger in here. If you want to charge this battery, then you put your charger in that slot there. Now you can take this battery out of the bike as well as this battery, which is the seat pole. If you want to take this battery out, you do have to fold the bike. So let's go ahead and fold the bike now. So to fold the handlebar, we're first gonna put our handlebar down, put that clamp on here, and then this here, you push this up. Then you can push it up and undo that clamp there. Now you can fold the handlebar down. Similar to the handlebar, we have this again, where you have to push this up, and then you can undo that clamp there, and now you can fold the body. And this is what the bike looks like when it's folded. So while the bike is folded, you can take the battery out if you want to. You take a key that came with the bike, turn that key counterclockwise, and then you should be able to Take your battery out, and this battery looks pretty standard. It's also a very small battery. Now, as we unfold this handlebar, I do want to say this is probably my favorite folding mechanism, by far the most stable, because you see how this whole steel clamp is kind of protruding out, right? So when you put this clamp back up, that steel clamp comes in, and it really does make this handlebar secure. So by default, you're going to be using the battery in your body here. But if you also want to use this seat pole battery along with this battery at the same time, then you're going to go under here, and again, this has to be connected, and you're going to click that button there. Now when you use your bike, you're using both batteries. This cushion on the back of the bike does seem a bit firm, but I do think that being back there does make this kind of a cargo folding bike. We're not going to turn this bike on. We're going to press and hold the power button on our panel here, and that turns our I guess semi-colorful display on. Looks like we do have a horn. That's a little light. Looks like we have a thumb throttle for throttle only. If you click the I button on your panel here, you will get more features on your display. Looks like that's my power. If I click the I button, that's my trip time, my maximum speed, my average speed, my total distance, my trip distance. Now, if I press and hold this I button, it looks like in addition to 5 different pedal assist modes, which you can change by pressing plus and minus on that panel. If I press and hold that I button on my panel, I can go from normal to sport to eco. And I think this affects not only my takeoff speed, but my maximum speed. But what I don't like about this is sport mode. It only lasts for 3 minutes.
What?
And then it automatically goes back to normal mode. I don't like that at all. Now, if we click this button here on our panel, that turns our small but bright headlight on and our rear light on. That rear light is also a brake light. This bike does have advanced settings. To go into those advanced settings, you're going to press and hold the plus and the minus button on your panel. And these settings are pretty easy to navigate through. To go into a setting, you're going to quickly click the I button on your panel. Look like here we can set our unit. That's if we want to measure our speed by miles per hour or kilometers. We're going to keep it at miles per hour. You can determine how bright you want your display. Auto power off, that's how many minutes you want this bike to be on until it automatically turns off. Pressing the minus button, and we have our speed limit. So I'm going to click the I button on our panel. Look like the maximum speed is 63 kilometers per hour. So we're going to keep it at that. Click the I button again. Go down to back, click the I button. Then we're going to go down to personalization. We're going to quickly click the I button on our panel. Look like we do have an auto headlight feature, and look like we have power set. To determine how many pedal assist modes you got, we're going to keep it at 5. So we are about to try the different pedal assist modes, starting with mode 1, normal. Let's go down a couple of gears since we are in mode 1. See how fast we go here. All right, it is a bit, go up and down some gears. Okay, that's better. I was gonna say it's kind of hard to pedal in mode 1, but you go to the lowest gear, it's not that bad. So look like we're at 12 miles per hour. I love the fact that I can bring this handlebar all the way up and being more of a commuter style posture, which is cool. All right, so 12 miles per hour, a little bit more than 12. Yeah, 12 miles per hour. And again, we do have 5 different pedal assist modes, but for this test, we're just gonna do mode 1 and 3. We'll do mode 5 later. But for 3, we're gonna start out with normal, mode 3, pedal assist mode, normal mode. Okay, that was interesting. Seemed like the pedal assist kicked in right away, but then it like, it's like it checked itself to make sure that it's not sending me flying. That was kind of interesting. Okay, so mode 3 normal, go down some gears. 14. Okay, about 15. All right, I thought it would go a little faster than that. So we're now gonna switch it to mode 3, sport mode. We'll go up a couple of gears. Let's see how fast we go in mode 3. Sport, oh, that took off right away. Okay, that took off right away in sport mode. and it took off without leveling back to speed. Well, I guess it did level back to speed a little bit. All right, so 16. Yeah, it leveled back to speed quite a bit. All right, so 16 miles per hour. Love the brakes. 16 miles per hour, mode 3, sport mode. I do think this bike is pretty much perfect for like urban areas and for urban commute, because although this bike is heavy, it is standard dimensions regarding folding bikes. So that plus the really vertical swivel handlebar means you can avoid people and things pretty easily on this bike, which is I think is needed for more urban areas. Let's go through here. So you can go through urban areas with no problems on this bike. So I think this is a great bike for that. Cut through some pretty sharp corners here. Yeah, so you can do that with no problem. So that mixed with the dimensions, I think makes this a great bike for urban commutes. Now, this bike is heavy, so you are going to have to deal with that. It's not the easiest folding bike to lift. It is an easy folding bike to fit in your car, but it is heavy. So I guess you got good and bad there. But again, very easy to maneuver in an urban area on this bike. So, ENGWE X20, what are your thoughts?
Very, very good folding bike. They did good again, just making the bike very well. I like the tires. I feel like they're grippy. I would like a twist throttle versus a thumb throttle, but the seat, it's not bad, but it's not great. I give it a 6. I'm not a fan of having to have a tool just to adjust. I don't like any mode other than sport mode.
Okay, you don't like normal mode or eco mode?
I don't like normal or eco. Suspension is dope. I can feel the fact that they have 3 suspensions on this thing. The way where the seat is and where the handlebars are, for me, I feel like I'm like this.
Oh, you stretching a little bit? Okay. So, and how tall are you?
I'm 5'5".
All right, so what you give this bike on a scale from 1 to 10?
This gonna be 8.5.
8.5. All right. So we're now about to get our point of view shots in. Start by testing out these tires, which I'm sure are gonna perform well. These tires are usually pretty grippy. Gonna go through some gravel. It's a beautiful day today. It's probably like 65 degrees. Okay, as expected, not a whole lot of slipping. Yeah, tires are pretty good. Maybe just a little bit of slipping. Let's go ahead and brake here. Yeah, I mean, that's probably as good as you're gonna get. Now, the reason I love Chaoyang tires, they are my favorite e-bike tires, is because not only are they very durable, at least they've been very durable for me, they're also very grippy. And I normally would not advise to lean on a folding bike with a vertical swivel handlebar like this one got, but these tires are definitely grippy enough for you to lean. So we are now about to go off-road, try this triple suspension out. And this is off-road with some heels. All right.
now. Yeah. So far so good. Yeah, this suspension is pretty good. Yeah, I can definitely tell that there's 3 suspensions on this bike for sure. But let's keep trying. All right. Yeah, that's pretty good. I would say I do wish the suspension in the front was a little bit better, to be honest, but the one I have in the middle of the bike and the ones I have in the back of the bike make up for it a lot. Yeah, this probably the second best suspension I've had on a folding bike. Trying not to be a prisoner of the moment here, but it is what it is. Folding bike, the only folding bike that I have that's better than this when it comes to suspension is one that has a motorcycle style front fork. Overall, this is a pretty gradual bike outside of sport mode when it comes to your takeoff speed. So I'm gonna stop here. I'm in eco mode right now. Mode 5 eco mode. I guess that sent me flying just a little bit, to be honest. But then it levels out. And it looks like max speed eco mode is gonna take me up to, what's this? 20 miles per hour. Now I'm 5'11", 6 feet with shoes on. This e-bike is perfect for a guy my size, and I don't have the seat up as high as it can go. So even guys a little bit taller than me, I think you could use this e-bike too. If you're shorter than me, you can definitely use this e-bike because I have the handlebar up quite a bit and I have the seat up quite a bit. So you can also lower those, obviously. So if you're short, you can definitely use this e-bike as well. Now, because this e-bike has some size to it and because it has the triple suspension, this is a really smooth e-bike. Now, I don't think it's so smooth where I can ride without my hands on the handlebar, which I normally don't suggest doing with such a vertical handlebar swivel here, but if I keep both hands on my handlebar, it's pretty, I guess I can do it a little bit, but I really have to balance. But if I keep both hands on the handlebar, this e-bike is pretty smooth. So we're now going to try max speed throttle only sport mode, but first I do want to mention max speed throttle only normal mode, mode 5, only took me up to like 23 miles per hour. So we're not going to switch it to sport mode. Let's see how fast we go here in throttle only sport mode. Make sure my kickstand is up here. All right, we're at 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. I'm at to move over here. 27. Okay, briefly hit 28. So it looks like we have a bit of a straightaway coming up here. So we're gonna try max speed, pedal assist, normal mode. Gonna see how fast we go here. Normal mode. Looks like we're at 19, 21, 23. 24. Okay. So it looks like around 24 miles per hour. So we're not gonna try maximum speed sport mode. And the pedal assist kicked off right away. Kind of sent me flying a little bit, but it is in sport mode, so what do you expect, right? So 26, 27, 28, 29. All right, 29. So you would think that an e-bike that is pretty smooth because it has some weight to it, like it got some size to it, has triple suspension, so if you're on the street, you don't feel any cracks in the road. See, you don't feel cracks in the road like this. You don't feel that at all with triple suspension. And they got speed, like when you're in sport mode, you can go up to 29, 28 miles per hour in sport mode. I just don't think vertical swivel handlebars are very forgiving. Like if you make a slight error in your turns, this handlebar can spin out on you. I don't like that in the street. I think that's a bad idea. But not only because of that, but also because you go from sport mode to eco mode after like 3 minutes of riding. And then you can't go back into sport mode unless you wait for 10 minutes, or you would have to turn your bike off for a while and back. See, I went back to normal mode, right? That could be dangerous because you could be going from 28 miles per hour back to like what, 23, 24 without really knowing. And if you got a car behind you, that could be a very sticky situation. I don't like that feature on this bike, and I'm sure they do it so that they can preserve the battery and maybe not overheat the motor. But again, this bike is extremely discounted, especially right now because of a Christmas discount. So we're not gonna try max speed, throttle only, up a hill. I would say maybe like a 35, 40 degree hill. Let's see how much speed we lose going up this hill. We're going into the hill now. And not only is this a hill, the hill curves. So a hill that also curves. So going into the hill, looks like we're at 23 miles per hour. Let's see how much speed we lose. All right, we're going into the steepest part of the hill now. We're at 19. 15. 13. 12. Okay, so it looks like we lost about 11 miles per hour.
So ENGWE X20 for the price, which is currently discounted because of the Christmas promotion as well as the discount codes. This is a really solid bike. Second best suspension I've ever had on a folding bike with the triple suspension. Great battery life with the 2 batteries. I went on a 15-mile bike ride. I would say mainly in mode 4 normal, but I spent like 3 miles going mode 5 sport. And in that 15 miles, I still had like 77% of my battery life. So based on my bike ride, I think that's more like 60 to 65 miles to charge, which is pretty good for a folding bike. I like the bells and whistles. You got a headlight, rear light. You can charge your cell phone from the display. You got hydraulic brakes, 8 gears for pedaling. I love the anti-theft feature. You need a key in order to adjust the height of your seat. You have to know to put this on the back of the seat pole. And I like that it was a really smooth ride. And I like the speed in sport mode. I was able to go up to like 29 miles an hour. Now, although from a dimension standpoint, this is a great folding bike. It can fit in some pretty tight areas, but it's heavy, so you have to be aware of that. The one thing I did not like about this e-bike, and I guess is a pretty jarring thing, which is the fact that you can only be in sport mode for 3 minutes, and then after that it goes back to normal mode, and then the only way to go back to sport mode is to wait 10 minutes. Or you have to turn your bike completely off and then turn it back on. I don't know if the bike does that to extend the battery life or to not burn out the control box, but I don't like it. So all in all, pretty solid bike. On a scale from 1 to 10, especially for the price, I'll give it an 8.5. Comment below what you give this bike on a scale from 1 to 10. Any other e-bike you want me to review, comment below. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.